Welcome to the studio. My name is Sasha Kadri, and I have a formidable panel of women here. Gender diverse companies are 15% more likely to make higher financial returns. Diverse management teams lead to 19% more revenue. They're 70% more likely to capture new markets. All great, right? However, less than 7% of Fortune 500 companies have women as their CEOs, and less than a quarter of C-suites are made up of women. Why is it moving so slowly still? Why are we still having this conversation in 2023?
I don't think we're addressing the early career opportunity enough. And if I think of my own experience, having early mentorship, early sponsorship, early opportunity helps you move forward. It also breeds confidence. It also, it's visible to the entire system, let's call it that. And I think that's one of the things that we could really focus on more.
There are 10 men to 1 woman in this type of job position. So what I think is being quite hard, because what we see is men is still in the top level in management and also in board positions. In the boardroom, if you consider women, let's say in case of Brazil, there's just 15% of these positions are occupied by women.
I've been in financial services for 18, 19 years now, and I'm still often the only woman in the room. It's in a room of 20, 30. On the plus side, insurance conferences, there's never a queue for the ladies, right? But it takes getting used to. It takes adjusting to being the only in the room, whatever that means. And we don't have enough role models, I think, for both on our business side a lot of the time, as well as in tech, for women to look up to and aspire to. And if you can't see it, you can't be it.
There's layers of a sense of you shouldn't be there, right? And it's reinforced by the environment that you're in. And somehow you have to find a way to silence that. And that's actually incredibly difficult to do, particularly if you don't have a support ecosystem around you. And I think one thing that I've learned to do is have women at that level that I can talk to, that I can draw support from, who can say, yes, you've earned that place at the table. Either whether it was big tech or whether it was law, it honestly felt like I had to find a place to almost be myself. And the way I found that was by becoming an entrepreneur.
I used to be the only woman in the board for a long time, for 3 years. In my position lately, we have another woman, but I used to be the only woman out of 10 board of directors. And it's not easy to be with men and to be loud, because usually they expect the women, to not sound loud. That's the reality. Sometimes I tell them, just forget I'm a woman, I'm loud, but because you speak more loudly, but I have the right also to be loud. We also have to work in the education of women, but also in the education of men who work with these women, so that they understand that we are all equal.
Could I ask you all, and anyone, please feel free to jump in here, what for you has been the biggest barrier? And if someone could say, I'll resolve this now, it would really change something for you, what would that be?
So one of the other barriers, I think the things that don't change, is that little bit of fear that's in the systemic in our world for women to feel comfortable, to set boundaries early, to put up their hand, to talk about their ambition. If I could do one thing, I'd have an executive coach for every woman with potential, just to help build that inner strength that you can do this, because the lobotomy that's happened over years and years and years creates a huge amount of self-doubt with women. And that's why the early career issue is such an issue. There's self-doubt there that they can actually break those barriers. So,
when you are a woman, or when you are a digital or a tech girl, what happens is sometimes people just say, the men say, I don't understand what you're saying because you're so tech. So I keep wondering, are we so tech, or they don't want to listen to us because we are women? We need to really be resilient to be in a higher position and trying to bring these girls up to these leadership positions to try to change the picture that we have nowadays.
Systemic change needs change agents. And I've never met anyone whose KPIs include a change agency. So what tends to happen is the diversity tax kicks in. If you're someone trying to change the organization, it gets held against you when it's time for promotions, because that's 10% less time you were spending on your job, right? So until that contribution to community in the organization is a requirement for promotion, as opposed to it being held against you when it's time for promotion, you're not going to see diversity in the senior levels.
The tact we have taken is that if you put enough free tech education into communities to high potential women, right? And we discussed this, that is the career switcher, that is women typically in the penultimate year of university. What you will be able to do is surface a massive level of diverse talent right on your doorstep. That might take 6 months. They might not be there immediately, but that's okay because you are creating a pipeline for years to come.
First of all, to identify what to change, to see what are the procedures, what are the policies of the company. And that's what was done, for instance, here at Free in Senegal, to see that, okay, we need to do something in the hiring process. And another thing is to launch a mentorship program. Through the mentorship also, we build a solidarity with women, because let's not forget that the men are really, how do you say it, solidaire? It's solidarity with men. So we need to build also women solidarity and to mentor women. And also, I always say that go to schools. It's at the lower level of the education, not at enterprise. Go to the school, share our experience with the young girls so that they understand that they can get to a certain level in the corporate ladders.
Please join me in thanking all of our panel, and to you, Nafi, thank you for joining virtually. Thank you so much.